The average new car in America now costs just under $50,000. Not a luxury vehicle, not a performance car, not something with a famous badge and a waiting list, the average new car. For context, the median American household earns around $78,000 a year. That means the average new car now costs the equivalent of more than 7 months of total household income, before tax, before insurance, before fuel, before maintenance. Monthly payments on new vehicles are approaching what Americans once paid for mortgage installments. Loan terms that once lasted 4 years now stretch to 6, 7, sometimes 8. Millions of Americans currently owe more money on their vehicles than the vehicles themselves are worth. And while buyers struggle, American automakers reported combined profits of over $30 billion in 2024. Something is wrong with this picture. And on the other side of the world, someone already figured out why. For most of the 20th century, American automakers followed one rule: build cars for everyone. Students, young families, workers on hourly wages, retirees on fixed incomes, first-time buyers with almost nothing saved. The goal was volume. Reach every customer, sell millions of cars, dominate every segment of the market. Then, the math changed. Automakers discovered something that would quietly reshape the entire American car market. Large vehicles make dramatically more money. A compact sedan might generate a few $100s of profit.
Build vehicles
A
for
fully
everyone.
loaded SUV could generate
Students,
several
young
times that.
families.
A pickup truck could generate more than both combined. The calculation became obvious. Why sell 10 affordable cars when you can earn the same profit from 3 expensive ones? Ford eliminated most of its passenger cars. General Motors doubled down on trucks and SUVs. Every other major manufacturer followed. The affordable starter car, the vehicle that introduced 2 generations of Americans to car ownership, quietly disappeared from showrooms. Walk into most American dealerships today, and you will find something strange. The entry-level car is gone. In its place, larger vehicles, loaded with features most buyers never use, carrying price tags that would have seemed impossible 20 years ago. For automakers, the strategy worked perfectly. For buyers, it created a trap. The trap works like this. Dealerships stopped talking about total price a long time ago. Instead, the conversation became about monthly payments. Can you afford $600 a month? $700? $800? The total cost of the vehicle disappears. The monthly number is all that exists. And once the conversation shifts to monthly payments, longer loans make higher prices feel manageable. Higher prices justify longer loans. Longer loans allow prices to climb further. The cycle feeds itself, year after year, price after price, until millions of Americans find themselves paying for a vehicle long after it has stopped being worth what they owe on it. This is not an accident. It is a system optimized for extracting maximum value from buyers rather than delivering maximum value to them. And while Detroit was perfecting that system, China was asking a completely different question. Detroit asked, how do we maximize profit on each vehicle? China asked, how do we build transportation for everyone? Those questions sound similar. They are not. One produces premium products for a shrinking segment of buyers. The other produces an industrial ecosystem capable of building vehicles at a scale and cost that most Western manufacturers never seriously attempted. Walk into an automotive exhibition in China today, and you will find something that does not match any expectation shaped by Western car culture. Tiny electric cars costing between $1,000 and $5,000. Mini electric pickup trucks. 3-wheeled EVs. Solar-powered scooters. Micro-delivery vehicles. Xiaomi, the company most people know for making affordable smartphones, is now producing electric vehicles that combine the manufacturing efficiency of consumer electronics with the engineering demands of automotive production. Their first vehicle was fully booked within minutes of launch, not because of subsidies, not because of government mandates, because it was genuinely good and genuinely affordable. At first, many Western observers laughed. The vehicles looked small. Some looked like miniature versions of more expensive cars. They seemed like toys. Then, something changed. People started imagining what they actually used their vehicles for: the daily commute, a grocery run, picking up children from school, errands across town, not crossing entire states, not towing heavy equipment, not conquering mountain trails, just moving from one place to another at the lowest possible cost. And suddenly, the tiny electric car did not look like a toy anymore. It looked like a solution to a problem American manufacturers had stopped trying to solve. The common explanation for why Chinese vehicles are cheaper is cheap labor. That explanation stopped being accurate a long time ago. Modern vehicle manufacturing is not dominated by labor, it is dominated by systems. Factories, supply chains, battery production, materials processing, software development, electronics manufacturing. And this is where China built an advantage that took 30 years to construct and cannot be copied quickly. Consider what building a car in America requires. Batteries sourced from one supplier, electronics from another, screens from a third, raw materials shipped from overseas, software developed by a separate company entirely, each supplier operating independently, each adding margin, each introducing delay, each creating a point of failure. Now consider what building a car in China's industrial ecosystem looks like. Battery manufacturers sitting next to motor producers. Electronics suppliers already manufacturing components for smartphones, solar panels, home batteries, and electric vehicles simultaneously. Material processors within hours of the assembly line. Engineering teams in the same building as the suppliers they depend on. The feedback loop is shorter. The factories are closer. The costs compound downward instead of upward. It is not a collection of companies. It is one continuous industrial machine. And at the center of that machine sits the battery, because batteries are becoming what engines once were. The most important technology in the entire automotive industry. And China did not just build battery factories, it built an entire battery economy. From raw material extraction, to cell manufacturing, to vehicle integration, to end-of-life recycling. Once batteries become cheaper, everything built around them becomes cheaper. The car, the scooter, the delivery vehicle, the microtruck, transportation itself. The vehicles most people ignore are the most important ones, not the BYD flagship, not the Xiaomi sports sedan, not the autonomous luxury vehicle competing with Tesla, the $1,000 electric car, the solar scooter, the neighborhood EV that looks like something a child might draw. These vehicles reveal what happens when an entire industry organizes itself around one goal: accessibility, not performance, not prestige, not profit per unit. Accessibility, think about what most people actually need from a vehicle. The average American commute is under 30 miles round trip. The average grocery run covers less than 5 miles. The average school pickup happens within 10 minutes of home. Yet the average American vehicle is engineered to cross entire states, tow heavy loads, and survive conditions most owners will never encounter. It is the automotive equivalent of buying a commercial aircraft to visit the supermarket. For decades, consumers accepted this. Bigger meant better. More expensive meant more desirable. The gap between what people needed and what they were sold kept growing. And Chinese manufacturers built an entire industry filling exactly that gap. The disruption always looks small at first. The first digital camera was dismissed by Kodak as a novelty for hobbyists. The first streaming service was dismissed by Blockbuster as a niche product for tech enthusiasts. The first smartphone was dismissed by Nokia as a device for people who did not know what they wanted from a phone. Each of them was wrong. Because disruption does not arrive from the top of the market. It arrives from the bottom, from the segment that established players considered too small, too low margin, too unsophisticated to matter. The affordable end. The segment American automakers quietly abandoned over the last 2 decades. Today, millions of Americans are trapped between two options that keep getting worse. Used vehicles becoming more expensive as supply tightens. New vehicles becoming harder to afford as prices climb. The gap between them grows every year. And gaps in markets do not stay empty for long. Maybe Detroit fills it. Maybe a Silicon Valley startup fills it. Maybe a company nobody has heard of yet fills it. Or maybe it gets filled by a network of factories on the other side of the world, building vehicles that Western consumers once laughed at in exhibition halls and dismissed as toys. The first smartphone did not look important. The first streaming service did not look important. Those tiny electric cars sitting quietly in Chinese showrooms may not look important either. That is exactly what makes them dangerous. Because the future of transportation may not belong to the fastest vehicle, or the most expensive vehicle, or the vehicle with the most horsepower. It may belong to the vehicle that simply allows the most people to move. And in that race, Detroit is not winning.